Browns 28-3 losers to the Ravens here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. And let's just start with some of the bigger goings on today, Mary Kay. Deshaun Watson tried to give it a go. He worked out before the game, but it did not happen. Dorian Thompson-Robinson ends up starting this game. It did not go well for him. But just really, Mary Kay, with the idea of not knowing who the starter was going to be coming in necessarily, then you've got to pivot to DTR. It just made for a difficult day all around.
You know, it really did. And Deshaun Watson was determined to play this game. He said he was going to play. He felt like he could play. And the Browns were very, very optimistic that he was going to play. I talked to several people yesterday who basically said, oh, this is kind of much ado about nothing. He's going to play this game. And so some people, you know, involved with this were completely shocked that he did not play. But again, he went out there in pregame warmups. He didn't feel right. DTR gets the start, and he was completely overmatched by this Ravens defense, which is so physical and attacking.
Yeah, Ashley, I mean, I hate to simplify it this much, but it did just kind of look like a guy who was a fifth-round rookie making his first start, and it ended up really costing the Browns offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. When we saw DTR perform well in the preseason, I think maybe the best thing he did was not look rattled or overwhelmed for the moment. And I felt like he did do that today. There were a couple plays where he just was throwing the ball to nowhere or almost fumbled it or would have to kind of scramble and end up just going backwards. So all of those things, it just felt like they were not able to move the ball and that the Ravens just totally overwhelmed this offense.
Yeah, I mean, the forward pass to Harrison Bryant, the sack where he just dropped the ball, just really tough rookie mistakes. Now, unfortunately for him, the defense had their worst game, Mary Kay, and it comes down to sort of the Ravens running the football. Lamar Jackson played very well in this game, but really the Ravens attacked the Browns on the ground, and they had a lot of success.
Yeah, they really did. I think it all sort of turned on that 93-yard drive that started, obviously, at the 7. And, you know, it was a touchdown drive. And Mark Andrews, who had a monster game, had a huge play on that drive. Melvin Gordon burst forth with 22 yards on a run. And, you know, and they were kind of off to the races. That was really the turning point of the game. And it just didn't feel like there was any coming back after that. That was in the second quarter. By the end of the half, they were down 21-3. And with DTR at quarterback, you just knew it was over at that point. So, you know, the number one defense in the land really got gashed today.
Yeah, they gave up almost as many yards in the first half, Ashley, as they'd given up in a single game all season today. And it was just, a lot of mistakes. Guys were lamenting just not doing the simple things right in this football game.
Yeah, and that drive in the second quarter and then actually the drive after that when they scored again and there were some more big plays, like it felt like watching it, there were a ton of missed tackles, which guys talked about, and missed opportunities to get stops, which has been really uncharacteristic of this defense. They just haven't been making those kind of mistakes. And it almost felt like once they got down that guys were maybe pressing a bit too hard and leaving their feet and diving and lunging, trying to make these tackles. And when you do that, you're toast essentially at that point. So I'll be curious to hear their self-evaluation that goes on and what they see in that regard on the film.
Well, the good news early for this team is the bye week is here. And look, when the schedule comes out, it feels like an early bye week. It might feel like that come week 12 or 13, but Mary Kay, they needed this bye week. Ethan Posick is dinged up. We're going to see how severe that injury is, that leg injury. Myles Garrett was in a walking boot today. Just some kind of nicks and bruises. Of course, you got to get your starting quarterback healthy. David Njoku suffered those burns to his face and arms, so you want to get him, feeling better coming out of that bye week. So a lot to get done during this bye.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, Deshaun Watson, Kevin Stefanski said the shoulder is structurally okay, and that is vitally important because the last thing that they need right now is to think that their quarterback might need to have some kind of a procedure on the shoulder and miss an extensive period of time. Myles Garrett also said that he'll be ready for the 49ers, so if they get some of these guys back, they should be okay.
And Ashley, it's a time to just kind of get mentally right as well as physically right.
Yeah, Myles talked about that a little bit, that he thinks this group won't hold on to this longer than necessary, but that they did underperform today, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And offensively, I think they really need to dive into what this running game is going to look like in a world without Nick Chubb, because that's the reality they're living in. We didn't see much to inspire confidence today in a game that they really could have used that because of the quarterback situation. They just didn't have it and weren't really able to get anywhere. Pierre Strong led them with 49 rushing yards, and 40 of those yards came on the final drive of the game when it was already well out of hand.
Okay, Browns have the bye week. They face the 49ers here in 2 weeks, a very fierce 49ers team coming to town, a really great defense. So we'll cover everything that happened here today, everything over the next couple weeks. You can find it all at cleveland.com/Browns.